Hey, what's up, and welcome to my corner of the internet. This is the one video where I'm super excited to make because I have thought about anime with so much wasted potential for literally months now. Like, I kept making the list, I kept forgetting where the list was because I would put it in my school notebook, and then whatever, I would forget about that, and then I would have to redo the list and then remember the list later. It's been a lot of monotonous work, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've been watching videos of people that mainly watch manga, and I've noticed how some of their complaints are some of the same complaints as me as well. They don't feel satisfied with anime as much as they feel satisfied with manga and some of these other reasons. But regardless of that, when I'm talking about anime with wasted potential, here's what I mean. What I mean by wasted potential specifically is the story starts, but it does not capitalize on what it starts. It has many different aspects within the story. The characters have a lot of things that need to be resolved. The problems are set, but there's no resolution, or it has an aesthetic that it doesn't follow through with, or the writing just gets terrible. And this happens so often with anime. Anyone who's been watching anime for years and years and years, as long as I have, I've probably been watching anime probably my entire life, but I started a little bit more seriously around 12 years old. So that's about 12 years ago, because I'm currently 24. Anime has burned me time and time again. A lot of anime has failed to realize the potential, and a lot of anime just ended haphazardly and gave me such half-ass endings that at this point I can literally remember why I got into manga, because I didn't get into manga seriously until certain animes came into my life and I started to realize these endings are not satisfying in the slightest. That being said, this is not me shitting on anime. I would never do that. I watch anime, but now I think I watch anime for different reasons than I used to, and the allure to anime is totally different than what it was when I was a kid. Specifically, now it's time to talk about the shows that had so much wasted potential that they deserve to be on this list. And I'm gonna start with one that absolutely broke my fucking heart. This show cashed so many checks and had so many great ideas, but it just fumbled the bag. Like, it dropped the ball. It was at the Super Bowl and it decided not to play. And I'm talking about Accel World. The reason why I'm talking about Accel World is because this anime had everything going for it. It had a lot of great concepts, and you could tell by Reiki Kawahara and how he created anime so many years ago. He really had the best timing, the best aesthetic, and the best ideas, and kicked off isekai and a lot of the current trends that is going on within the anime world. But only one of his animes actually really lifted up and achieved what it needed to achieve. And I've already made a video about Sword Art Online. No one's gonna change my opinion on the first 2 seasons. It is what it is. Everything else I don't really care about. But Accel World, it failed. It had such an amazing concept. It had gaming, it had factions, it had so many different aspects, and along with the mental issues and mental traumas of the main character and how it went into so many different platitudes, and it felt so futuristic. The animation was so cool, and I was so intrigued by the world, and the rules and the ideas within this anime was incredible, and I can't believe it was not capitalized on. It was wasted. It was unbelievable where the story could have went, and it could have been so much bigger than what it was because it had all the great ingredients. Interesting characters, an interesting story, it had interesting aesthetics. It was something that I've never seen at that time, and they did nothing with it, and this is why I'm talking about it right now. Now I'm gonna catch some flack for the next one. So World Trigger is on this list. So here's my caveat. I think World Trigger is approaching a place where it has to be entertaining and it has to have continuity and be able to garner audience consistently, because World Trigger has all the makings of a great shonen. It has the intrigue, it has the characters, it has the battle system, because World Trigger has some solid fights within it. The animation is incredible, the story is great, but I think the story went wrong when they started doing the whole, oh, they have to go to school, oh, they have to be ranked, oh, they have to be, like, it has so much exposition and it introduces so many interesting characters, but here's the problem. Too much exposition is not a good thing. Like, it gets to a point where I feel like, and I read the manga and I'm up to date, it feels like I have to read 200 pages before I get to any secure plot points. And the show is solid. It has everything it needs to be successful. It has that great story. And the characters are interesting. Of course, I don't really like that the main character is weak and he has to do these tricks to win. But the reason why it works with this main character is because he is not completely useless, and I respect that about him. And when we lose a certain character and it's the main character's time to shine, I think it's a solid way to tell a story, so I give him that pass. I think World Trigger is on the clock for me. I feel like it's on pace to be forgotten, even though the story is heating up and it's getting to a key point. But within the manga, it's too wordy, it's too roundabout. It feels like it's not giving me the impending doom that some of the fight scenes and the heavy plot points that come to a culmination within the arc. And it feels like it's wasting time, to be honest. Next up is Kami-sama Dolls. This hurt my entire soul because this is one of those animes that I say have an amazing aesthetic. And the reason why I say it has an amazing aesthetic because the story makes sense as a whole. Once you put everything together and you read some of the first pages or you watch some of the first episodes, you're instantly in the mystery. You're instantly trying to understand what happened to our past main character and the current main character, which is his younger sister, but we're really watching the older brother. And why did he leave? Why is he no longer a part of this? What is the Kami-sama Dolls? What is the importance of all of these things? You're so intrigued in the world, and to be a good story, you need one of three things. You need to have interesting characters, or you need to have an interesting world, or you need to have incredible plot points. And plot points as in the story accelerates, it's like a Shakespearean play, as a rising action, a falling action, a climax, all that, these, and those that we learned in school. And Kami-sama Dolls sets a stage and does nothing with it. It almost leaves us wanting more, and it's pathetic what they did with it. It feels like nothing was resolved, and it feels like the writing tapered out after starting so strong. And I feel like some of the tropes that fall into each of these characters make so much sense, and it feels like they did nothing with it. And I'm still hurt about this one, and I might even read the manga to see if there's something I'm missing here. I really liked this anime because it had a very interesting concept, and it played on the idea of gods are not infallible, they are not super protected, they are not perfect. And I'm obviously speaking about Noragami. This anime is also on the clock for me because I don't know what happened with it. I don't know if either the story within the manga was just changed or so many different aspects were different, and I plan to watch the anime because I was severely entertained by the drama, by the interaction between the characters, learning more folklore about Japanese and Shinto gods and all this, that, these, and those. It just feels like the story, there's this thing where animes just fall off the face of the earth, and maybe it's because it lacks popularity, because people aren't interested, but I feel like Noragami should have been bigger than what it was. I don't know what happened with it, and I hope it continues to do great things because the story has some interesting plot points, it has a lot of character development, and it has a lot of interesting ways of telling a story about gods and goddesses and religion and faith and friendship and love. It has a lot of interesting ideas that they're pretty good once talked about and explained and seeing it unfold within the characters.
大丈夫
Oh my god, this is one for the ages that hurt my soul. Dead Man Wonderland could have been incredible. Dead Man Wonderland is what happens when you shake a soda up and it's already flat. Dead Man Wonderland is when you get a dud firework and that is your last firework. Dead Man Wonderland had probably one of the best setups in anime ever. Like, it was on Adult Swim, you could see it, it had the great concept, it had the cool powers, it had the aesthetic, the punk rocker, death metal aesthetic, and I could not wait to watch this. I finished the manga. The manga did a little bit better with the story, but the art style was incredible. Like, this anime broke my heart because they could have went so many different places, and there's such underwhelming usage of characters within this that it is fucking egregious. Like, Hummingbird deserved so much more, bro. Like, oh my god, if there was one character I wanted to just sink my teeth in and become a complete fanboy of, it was Hummingbird, bro. Like, I can't believe that show wasted such a great ideas, and it had the psychopath, and like, spoiler alert, what? Oh my god, I don't even know how to say her name. What the fuck? You know, the chick that's always with Ganta. Bro, like, they could have did so much more. There could have been so much more done with the story, and that's all I gotta say about it, because that broke my heart. I don't know how anyone else feels about this anime, but High School of the Dead deserved better. There could have been so many other seasons. I thought it was amazing. I thought it had a pretty solid set of episodes, and I feel like it could have went on so much longer. And yes, there was a lot of ecchi, there's a lot of stuff that was just like, oh my god, fan service. But dude, it had some solid ideas within it, and I didn't mind the fan service because it was interesting. It took another idea of zombie apocalypse, or at least it had one that didn't feel so unrealistic and stupid. It felt like, okay, I understood there was consequences, there was choices, and I feel like it could have went on longer.
川向こう行きの最終便だ。乗るかね？もちろん。
So this video doesn't become 30 minutes of me just angry about animes. I'm gonna rattle some off. It is wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon. Is just wasted potential, bro. This story, listen, I get it that some of these isekais are just gimmicks and cash grabs. I get that. But here's the thing. When you have solid ingredients for a decent story, you can let all the other, like, fan service, you can let all the stupid ideas that come about just fall to the wayside. This is like having all the ingredients and throwing them out the window and deciding to eat air. Like, this story could do so much more if the author took it a little bit more seriously, and maybe that might still the effect, but this story has the pieces. Like, video game ideas and worlds and like the power-up of a character, when it's done correctly, it is an intriguing world because it feels otherworldly and we're transported within it. And when it's done correctly, you should hone in on the seriousness. You should make it a little bit more stressful for the character and not be so gimmicky and try to pick the best girl, stuff like that. It doesn't feel interesting, and I understand why people don't choose anime to watch anymore, because in manga, I will give something 30 chapters. Once it doesn't do what it needs to do, I'm off it. In this anime it did a lot of great things and set up a lot of pieces of the great story, with our hero being somewhat of a loser, him not really having the potential, and then him putting in hard work and having a little bit of a cheat code that helps push him further. I just feel like these isekai have made an exchange. They have the ingredients to be something more than what it is, and they can even set themselves apart, but they go for such lame ideas that it's like tiring at this point. So here's my opinion about Gangsta, or yeah, I mean, I know how to say Gangsta, but regardless, Gangsta has a really interesting idea, and I'm caught up at the manga unless it's just been adding up more and more episodes and I just haven't seen it. I feel like this really should be animated, and I feel like the story can go further. It's just, I feel like these anime aren't making the splashes that they should, and I don't know, maybe that's the audience, because this story isn't new. Like, let's be fair, this isn't a very new story. I think some of the concepts within it are very interesting, and how they explore the relationship and some of the commentary on like military and stuff like that. It's very interesting, but I feel like it is wasted potential because I don't think it's gonna go to the place where I think it'll go. I think it's just gonna be like that anime that had the cool animation, a very decent and interesting story, but doesn't really go anywhere. And another one that I hated is Guilty Crown. I hated this anime because the ending was not satisfying. The story does something that I hate. I hate it. And what I'm talking about is, there's these moments in anime, in stories, where we'll hit a climax, and it won't be the climax of the story, it'll hit a turning point, and within this turning point there's changes, and there's severe changes impact every single character, most often the world around us, and it impacts all things that are encompassed within this story. And once you have that change, I don't like when you fail to follow through on so many of these other ideas, because the ending is kind of a cop-out. I don't like that, oh, the final thing is this, that, these, knows, and he loses his powers, he loses the girl. I just didn't like that. I think that was a waste of potential.
Bro, come on now,
I feel
dog.
like the aesthetic, I feel
Come
like,
on,
and the
man.
villain, who was that guy? Where did he come from? The villain made no sense. It was just wasted potential for such a cool concept of drawing out peoples through his power and stuff like that. I just feel like this anime took a lot of good ingredients but didn't capitalize on it in a very well way. Anyway, this is my list of wasted potential. How do you feel about a lot of these animes? Have you seen some of these animes? Have you feeling that you completely disagree with me? Please let me know. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and share. You know the vibes. And have a great week.